Hello and welcome back to the 2017 Summer Split here in the LMS Game 3 coming up between J-Team and AHQ. Game 1 decisively to the side of J-Team, Game 2 decisively to the side of AHQ. I have a feeling this one might be a barn burner, might be a close game all the way through. See who's able to pick it up in the end. We'll also see what changes these teams decide to take into the Game 3. Bans so far on the side of J-Team, taking away the Elise and Corky. They do not want Westor onto that Corky pick again. He was doing a hell of a lot of damage last game onto it. BB especially was taking a brunt of those rocket poke. Not able to do much onto that Kog'Maw. Galio is the last ban for the side of J-Team. So not willing to first pick it, but don't want to give it up as well. Roaming potential in the mid lane is quite strong. The bans on AHQ side is going to be that standard Caitlyn, Zac, followed by the Thresh as well. Want to give that one over to Jay. He found success on it in the first game. Looks like J-Team will go ahead and lock in Jarvan as their first pick. Most likely going to be on Morning, the one who locked it in the top lane there. Although, as we saw last game, Mountain did take it into the jungle, so it technically is a flex pick. More commonly seen in the top lane, but you never know. HQ going to respond with the Braum first pick. Went ahead and picked it up. It worked well for them last game, and they might just go ahead and stick with the same bot lane, to be honest. Don't know if they're going to first pick the Ashe, or at least blind pick it, I should say, but they're considering the Gragas. They lock in the Gragas, so they're taking that top-tier jungler for themselves, Orianna the Hover. Fofo does enjoy playing Orianna. That will be the lock-in, actually, so securing a pretty... Wow. They are not shy about showing their hand here, locking in both solo laners already. They're going for a team fight comp, and they are not afraid to let AHQ know about it. They got the Rumble Jarvan and Orianna combo. They are looking to fight. Let's see what AHQ's response is with their last pick of the first phase. It's going to be the Kassadin for Westor, so returning to that. It was banned out in Game 2 away from him. He's able to pick that one up for himself. Take that scaling mid laner, going up against the Orianna, which is an okay matchup. Of course, he'll struggle on pretty early, but as long as he can survive the early laning phase, he should be just fine. See the bans coming out for these two teams. Phase 2, so far, 80 carries the target. Jhin taken away from the side of HQ, and Tristana the response. See if they continue to target the bot lane, maybe switch it up. Support not locked in yet for J-Team, so... Might be a support ban. It is indeed Rakan taken away. Meanwhile, on AHQ side, they don't have a top laner, so we might see JT respond with a topside ban there. Maybe taking away a Jarvan counter that they might not want to go up against. Actually, it's going to be Rumble. What am I talking about? So I thought maybe they would be in a Camille or something, but they're sticking with the 80 carry targeting, they think, and is essential to the victory here. Take away the late game combination. Tristana and Xayah both respectable late game damage dealers. So already four, I should say, 80 carry bans. 5 if you count Corky, but I'm not going to count Corky. So 4 80 carry bans this draft so far already. And is going to be perfectly happy locking in the Kalista, though, and I tend to agree with him there. There is a good amount of lockdown for J-Team, but Kalista is actually a pretty good pick into Jarvan because you can just jump out of the Cataclysm. So we'll see how that goes. Kalista Braum is a really good lane as well. Looks like it might be the Ashe locked in for the side of J-Team, so BB gonna try to repeat the performance that Anna had on it last game. Like I mentioned a few times, both of these 80 carries, most played champion is actually the Ashe, so both these teams like playing around that pick. See what J-Team end up rounding out their comp with. Support is gonna be locked in. It's gonna be the Alistar, actually. So adding even more engage. This is a all team fighting comp right now. It's quite astounding how deep they've gotten into that one. And AHQ are going to be rounding out the comp with the top laner. We'll see what they decide to lock in going up against the Rumble, and it actually will be the Camille, which is obviously a pretty good pick into the Rumble, especially if it can get snowballing. And Gragas is definitely one of a good pick in the jungle to help get that going. So there are your team comps locked in on your screen. JT, again, not shy about what they want to do here with this composition. Definitely looking to group up and fight. A little bit of that wombo combo. AHQ's bot lane, though, should be in the winning matchup. Then Braum is likely going to be pushing them in. That might open them up to get ganked by Alex in the jungle there, but we'll see. Possibly look to play around the bot side. Although this top lane matchup is very snowball heavy. I have a feeling Mountain might be trying to get this Camille going in the top lane. Kassadin going to be looking to survive the early game. Honestly, AHQ has a lot of ways they can play around this one and get the victory. Your coaches there are going to shake hands for the last time in this series. See who is able to get the lead in the champion select wise going into this game. There are your team compositions on your screen there. We will go ahead and jump into game. Looks like for this game 3, just going to be a defensive fan out from both of these teams. Games 1 and 2 actually featured a decent amount of early vision attempts. Not going to be the case in this one though, just playing it safe for now. Looks like it's going to be a quote-unquote solo queue start for both of these junglers actually. It's going to be a duo bot side leash onto their respective buffs. Blue buff for Mountain, red buff for Alex. See which of these two junglers are able to get the advantage in the early game here. Obviously, both of them pretty happy farming up, but also have very good ways to get in there for the early ganks. Looks like Jarvan has a little bit of a head start there. That armor debuff passive with the flag obviously helps him out a lot clearing these ones out. As we touched upon, in the mid lane here is going to be the Orianna going up against West Door's Kassadin. Kassadin going to be pushed in pretty heavily for quite a while, unless we see some pretty major jungler interference. Bot lane here should end up winning in favor of AHQ if everything goes according to plan. Alistar not offering much at all in lane. And Braum Kalista are going to be able to do a decent amount of poke, keep the wave pushing. Kalista very strong in lane, still paired with a pick like Braum. And actually, when they hit 6, is also a time where you want to play around that Kalista vault. A lot of teams talking about how when you pick that Kalista, you really want to utilize her level 6 and get a lead with her. The late game damage from Kalista can be lacking sometimes. JT doesn't have the tankiest team comp though. They have one kind of true tank with Alex there in the jungle, and then Alistar with the ultimate can soak up a decent amount of damage for sure. You might expect early on, Rumble going to be pushing this lane in. It's actually Alex on the top side here, making sure his top laner is nice and safe. He's going to go in for a bit of early counter jungling. While the Gragas is just going to continue clearing his jungle. Ziv is going to spot out Alex here. Alex turns around and does a decent amount of damage back. Ziv just trying to scare him away. Maybe even bluffing, thinking that Mountain might be in the area. Looks like Morning will strut on over here. Make sure his jungler is able to clear up this camp. Nice and easily, he's going to jump on over. No dive attempts or anything like that, just making sure he gets the counter jungling down. Ocean Drake is first up this game. See if these teams place much priority onto that one. Mountain is making a little cheeky visit to the bot side. He did have the information that Alex went ahead and stole his golems, so he's going to probably go ahead and do the same. Lascone's on over there. He will be spotted out by the ward, and doing this against the dual lane is actually a lot more dangerous than doing it on the top side because you can get collapsed upon by 2 members instead of just 1. Albus trying to come over here to help, but Mountain's going to make the call just to back off. Does not actually know where Alex is because he hasn't been on the top side in a while, so he's going to respect that fact and back off. Which means there is a little bit of a farm lead for Alex. Probably not going to equate to much, but it's worth noting at least. See in the mid lane there, Fofo able to pull out to a little bit of a CS lead, as you might expect in this matchup. It's Kalista Braum going to try to get an advantage here in the laning phase. See how BB and Jay fend them off. Doran shields start coming out here from Anne, so he's expecting to... he's actually playing it pretty defensively, surprisingly, actually. Expecting to take a decent amount of proc from the Ashe, so... He knows he has the winning matchup already, so it's not the worst case in the world to take the defensive item. Mountain here did get spotted on that ward. A lot of back pings going down. He's not going to be able to get much done. Nothing actually up right now. Everybody, the entire top side of the map for J-Team actually recalled in sync there, so nice team coordination. Mountain is going to be able to get a deep ward on the Wolf Camp. Not going to do much to spot out anybody as of yet. Westdoor on that mid lane Cassidon, of course, did take TP and used it to get back to lane, so there's a combat summoner advantage for Fofo. Worth noting. If they ever get into a little bit of a scrap, Alex going to get in Mountain's face here in the jungle. Not sure if he actually stole something away there. I believe he was able to. And now Camille's starting to get a few levels into her abilities. Might look to turn this matchup around. But Alex wants to make sure that doesn't happen. He knows Mountain's on the top side. He might actually just continue to go aggressive. He has both lanes pushing. And Westdoor takes a huge amount of damage. That's going to actually mean that Alex can do a lot of bullying here. He's got to be careful he doesn't get collapsed upon, though. He's going to respect Ziv's roam down. Continuing pestering them. This is what you can do when you have two lanes with priority. You can just get in there and do whatever you want. As you can see, the top side also lit up for J-Team. Really good start from them so far. Using their early winning lane matchups to their advantage. You can see even on the bot side, J-Team is pushing. So all three lanes right now. And that might sound good if you're the AHQ jungler, which would give you a lot of opportunity to ganks, but not if the enemy jungler is constantly in your face, annoying you. Jay gonna come up in here, pop that vision cone. Ash Arrow will, I believe, spot out Mountain there. Walking in, trying to make sure this area is secure. Blue buff spawning. Alex is going to back off for now. Cassidon is back on the Rift, and he has the Rift Walk available to him now, so he'll be able to collapse even faster. TP advantage, actually, on the side of J-Team right now. So if they wanted to go aggressive, it would be probably not the worst thing in the world. They will back off for now. They don't want to get too greedy. Blue buff will be successfully handed over to AHQ. An argument to be made that maybe J-Team should have gone a bit more aggressive onto that one, but nevertheless, they do have a decent early game so far. They're actually pulled out to already about 1,000 gold lead just in terms of CSing, so really good job by them. Abusing this early game. They actually do have a team fighting composition here. HQ, though, has a terrifying snowball team if they get rolling, so team have to be careful they don't make any major missteps. They could get turned around on quite quickly. Westdoor on this Cassidon. Rift Walk, blue buff now available. They do spot out Alex there, taking the blue buff. Hand that over to Orianna. Both teams spotting each other out, actually. Cute interaction there. Nullifying any sort of aggression that would have come down. Ziv on this Camille, as you can see, it does go well into Rumble in terms of kind of how the abilities works, and especially if you can get jungle attention, but Rumble definitely has the early game push advantage, and if you can't do anything to stop him, it becomes hard for the Camille, at least in the early game, and because it went so well, especially when Alex was able to push in there and basically just keep eyes on Mountain for such a long time, Rumble was free to just push him under tower constantly. So you can see a huge CS lead in that top lane, as well as the mid lane. Bot lane, only lane that's actually pretty stable here in terms of CS for AHQ, which is the reason why they're so far behind in gold already without giving up any kills or objectives. Can't give enough credit so far to J-Team so far in the early game. Alex getting aggressed upon here, going to pop the Cataclysm onto Annie. He's just able to jump out, no flash for the side of J-Team's jungler. He might just go down. It's getting turned around upon nicely, though. Orianna Shockwave is going to do a decent amount of damage. The TP comes in from Rumble, and he picks up the first kill of the fight. Trade kill going over onto Alex, though, but now Ann is in a big mess of trouble. He goes down. Fofo able to pick up that kill, and this team fighting composition already showing its stuff. Ziv not even deciding to TP down there, and that is a 3-for-1 trade. Westdoor going to do his best to buy some time for his top laner. Might find himself in a bit of trouble, though. Yeah, he's going aggressive. Might like his chances. He's going pretty low, and he's just going to die. That was kind of sad to watch. I'm not sure what Westdoor thought he was doing there. Either way, he's going to be visiting the gray screen for a while. So like you can see, J-Team trying to continue their early game aggression. AHQ finally makes the call to go try to stop Alex from continuing this counter aggression, but a nice arrow is going to buy him some time to live. The Shockwave does connect onto only one, but it does so much damage in this early game especially. They're able to pick up the trade kill, but that is all AHQ is able to get. as they go a little bit over their heads. Of course, there was a 5v4 in the end because Morning got the TP off. And I suppose by the time Ziv would have been able to get there, it was kind of pointless. And then this is the puzzling one. These are the kind of plays that AHQ can't be making if they want to come back in this game. Just giving up even more. And now Morning's going to go back to that lane with 2 kills. 3, sorry. He actually picked up 3 in that fight. So he is going to be very comfortable. It's actually J-Team who pulls the lane swap here. So it's possible they either don't want to be in this matchup or they just want to get the tempo advantage and take that tower. Morning is pretty strong on that rumble, but in a 3v1 situation, even he has to respect it. Might just use the equalizer to try to clear the wave. Either way, J-Team does have the push advantage here. I believe they'll be able to pick up first tower gold. Actually, what am I talking about? First tower gold already went down while we were watching that replay. The mid tower was picked up, so that's the reason J-Team's not afraid to make these aggressive plays here. They do pick up the tower before AHQ is even able to respond, and now they're pushing onto the tier 2. So much tempo advantage right now on the side of J-Team. That's the recalls coming out of most of the AHQ members, only Ann left in the bot lane. I don't think he can take the tower with Rumble sitting there ready to wave clear, so 2 towers for 0 now for the side of JT, and they are up over 4k gold. Basically a 5k gold advantage about 12 minutes in. That is absolutely bonkers. These scaling picks not paying off right now for AHQ. Locking in both of these solo laners who take a lot of investment to get going, and J-Team doing such a good job shutting both of them down simultaneously. Huge props to Alex as well. Keeping that Gragas under control. He's not able to affect these lanes like he would want to. J-Team setting themselves up for quite the snowball, and they have the team fighting team comp as well, so as long as they're able to get these straight up 5v5s or even 5v4s as we saw, they're going to have no troubles in these early to later game fights. Especially with a healthy gold advantage like this, Ocean Drake is spawning. Fofo has to be a bit careful. He has no jungle support, and Mountain is pairing up with Westor here, trying to get the kill. No flash for Fofo. Pops the shockwave, trying to buy some time. He does have heal, decides not to use it though, and that was a bit puzzling actually. Fofo did not have the help of Alex anywhere near, and he just kind of walked in Mountain's face, taunting him a little bit. He gets punished for it. So that is a kill going over to the cast, and he's now 2-1-0. Despite Westor's questionable 1v1 with the Rumble, he still managed to pick up 2 kills for himself, and maybe what AHQ decide to play around from this point going forward. Red buff does go over to Mountain, taking advantage the fact that the mid laner from JT is down. Morning has roamed down here, though, after getting a huge push in the top side. He's going to try to defend this tower in the mid lane. Ocean Drake is available, and Kalista, of course, is going to offer very good control over that if they decide to take it. It is risky, though. Fofo is on his way back, and he has that Shockwave's going to be up very soon. Not a long cooldown at that at all. Team continuing to push in basically all 3 lanes. Ziv doing his best to push that one back up. Fofo will be able to pick up this blue buff for himself. It's going to help do wonders to keep this lane pushed out. Westor doing his best to keep up in CS. He's about 20 down. He does have a kill up, though, on Fofo, so trying to scale up his best. Team have to be careful they don't get caught out here. They're not together in their team fighting setup. Westor looking to go aggressive. Ziv has showed up, but the TP comes from Morning, and they're looking to turn it onto Ziv. Forces the flash. That will be the disengage. So it's a teleport for a flash on the top laners. Advantage to J-Team. They are able to take control of that dragon area as well. Mountain now flirting with disaster here. He is out of vision, so he'll be safe. Looks to collapse onto Fofo. He has both summoners up, so it's going to be a bit hard to do that. And now the bot lane might be the focus for J-Team. They're all on the bottom side of this map right now. Albus might be a bit caught out. The Fate's Call, of course, is available if they need to. That's actually the equalizer trying to slow them down. Not sure they quite have the ability to catch up there. Be the successful disengage from the AHQ bot lane. Unfortunately, their bot lane tower is probably not quite so lucky. It can't move, so it's just going to get taken out. 3 towers to nothing now on the side of J-Team. They've pulled out to, again, around a 5k gold advantage. Westor trying his best to put some pressure on in the mid lane. Did do a decent amount of damage there to Fofo. Gotta be a bit careful on that Orianna. Rod of Ages already complete for the Kassadin. Gonna be stacking that one up. Seems like the only bright spot right now for AHQ is that Cassid in the mid lane. I feel like if J-Team are able to play this one out properly, there's very little AHQ can do. Just got to play around the vision correctly, get control of the areas they want to attack, and move together as a unit. Might be the Rift Herald attempt actually coming here. TP is up for Ziv though, as he's pushing in that bot lane. He will be able to join if they need him. It's actually the Arrow Alter looking to go aggressive early and often here. Morning trying to do the damage onto the Rumble. Shockwave is not going to connect actually. Fate's Call pulling the Braum over the wall, and he will get away. So J-Team not quite able to pick up the kills they want to, but they do take control completely over this red side jungle of AHQ. Top tier 1's already down, so it might be the tier 2 that they go and focus here. And doing his best to keep this wave cleared. Doesn't even have the Blade of the Rune King complete yet. Still very early in this game, only 16 minutes in. And a huge gold lead to the side of J-Team. Can they snowball it correctly, though, is the question. Ziv trying his best to take this tower. Bring some pressure down here. He's going to successfully take Morning down, and that means they might open up the opportunity for the TP flank. Did JT stay a little too long here? They're on the complete disengage. They know they're in a bit of trouble. Zig pops the ult, trying to slow them down. BB just gets absolutely CC'd to death. First kill goes over to Ziv, and Jay soon to follow. AHQ capitalizing beautifully on the fact that they had the TP advantage, and now it's going to be the Rift Herald start. They should be able to pick this one up for free. They got the Callista there, so no real chance of a smite still coming through. That's what you want to see if you're an AHQ fan. Taking advantage of the mistakes coming out of J-Team. Will be the Rift Herald going over to them. That is about 1 billion Ren stacks. Let's see how much damage. Ooh, drops it down to 7. That was a bit close. Fortunately for him, J-Team had no interest in staying around there, so they will pick that one up. All of a sudden, AHQ with some life in this game. What was looking very grim, all of a sudden, not so much. Tied it up in kills. They are still down a healthy amount of gold, and it will be an Ocean Drake to the side of J-Team trading over the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, they gave over 2 extra kills on that top side, but they're going to have to deal with that. Infinity Edge now completed onto the Ashe. Blade of the Rune King going to be answered by Anne. So this is a power spike for Callista for sure. The question is, do they still want to fight, though? As we've mentioned many times, J-Team's team comp is very well suited to that. But as you can see, when AHQ are able to get these advantages is when they're able to get these odd-numbered fights and able to catch JT out off guard. J-Team now with some pings going down. They might look for a dive or something here. Ziv's flash is almost up. Looks like they've taken control of the vision of this area here. So maybe looking to get a pick onto the AHQ and getting hit up by that equalizer. Flash forward from Morning. Oh, they wanted to land that Ashe arrow. Not quite going to work. Albus doing his best to run interference. Jay looks like he wants to go in there. Braum ult gets popped. Doesn't actually hit anybody. Just trying to save this turret for now. Kassadin's in the bot lane. He does have TP. He's just working to take down that turret. That will be the first turret of the game going over to AHQ. But their mid lane, tier 2, is under siege. They did run out of minions, though, so they might have to back off for now. And, I mean, technically, that was a 1-for-0 tower trade so far for HQ. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like J-Team's done just quite yet. Continuing the pressure here in the bot lane. Nice zoning coming out from Fofo with that ball. They will be able to pick up this bottom lane tier 2 tower. So 4-1 now towers in favor of J-Team. Teleport is actually coming here. They're trying to catch them off guard again, but the TP response will be from Morning. This will be a 5v5. J-Team looking to turn on the back end of this fight. They're getting collapsed upon. Do AHQ actually want to take this one, though? Looks like cooler heads prevail and they back off. They realize probably don't want to fight a team fighting composition in a straight up 5v5. They tried to get the jump on them and catch them off guard, but it's not quite going to work. They're actually going to summon the Rift Herald in the mid lane. I like this, actually. A little bit of a tempo play coming out of AHQ. Looking to catch J-Team in a slow rotation. They should be able to take that. That's going to be a lot of damage, and that is a tower going over. No threat in getting a gauge spawn either, so good little macro play there from Mountain. To the mid lane, able to pick up that tower. It's now 4-2 in towers. And all of a sudden, that 5k gold lead down to roughly 2.5. Actually, just 2,000, because I am really bad at math. That's okay. AHQ are feeling pretty good about their position now, compared to what it was, at least. Never really want to be down 2,000 gold at any point of the game, but it's better than being down 5,000. 20 minutes into this one, 4-4 in kills. objective advantage over to J Team. They have the Ocean Drake and 2 more towers. But AHQ have done a good job to keep this relatively close. Would argue that they have the slightly better late game with the Cassin and the Camille, but honestly, the Rumble is going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage in the late game thanks to those changes that came through. Orianna is always good in the late game, and Ashe can do a surprising amount of damage, especially if she goes for that Hurricane. So we'll see how this one plays out. Team obviously going to be looking for those 5v5 fights, so look for them to probably group around these objectives and try to slowly take them down one by one. Have to be careful they don't get caught out, though. HQ can definitely collapse in a moment's notice. Farm advantage. Ziv is able to catch up a little bit here. Westdoor going to be continuing the split push. 1-3-1 team comp coming out of AHQ. I'm sure they would have liked to get the Camille going so they could actually put pressures on 2 different sides. So far, it's just Westdoor who's feeling relatively strong, so he's going to be pushing aggressively. Fofoch is going to go back and try to respond when he can, but mostly he's going to be looking to group up with his team. That's where they are strongest. Mountain here trying to get some vision control back here. Control ward going to be sitting there. I believe Morning did barely spot him out. They have a little bit of information. Some pings going down onto the mid lane. See where JT want to put their vision right now. Looks like it's going to be this top side. Ziv, meanwhile, in the bot lane, is pressuring that tower. It's awfully low. It probably should go down, actually, here. I don't think Rumble's going to be able to contest that one. So, HQ, with their split pushing pressure, eventually able to take that one down. It probably wasn't going to last for long. Yeah, 1-3-1 comp they got going on. Teams often struggle to pull it off, but if AHQ can do it, it'd be very frustrating if you're J-Team and you're looking for these constant 5v5 fights and you got 2 split pushers always knocking at the door of your towers. Does help that J-Team have a bit of a lead here, though. It is diminishing fast, though. HQ are able to get tunnel farm onto the correct members at the moment right now, and it's making it hard for J-Team. Feeling maybe a bit under pressure. Might actually try to force a bad fight for themselves because they feel like the game's slipping away, but as long as they take it slow, control vision, and attack the objectives with the vision, they should be fine. They got their sights turned onto this mid-tier 2 tower. With the call from AHQ, it looks like it's going to be to let it go. So a tower picked up in the mid lane. 5-3 now, towers in favor of J-Team. Slowly trying to push AHQ back into their base. They're going to want to be able to control these 2 split pushers here. Looks like nobody wants to deal with that Castan right now, who has TP up in a moment. Not quite up yet, though, and J-Team might look to take advantage. Nice ult landing onto the Callista. She gets locked up for eternity. Morning flashes in and picks up that kill. That's what J-Team was looking for. And they're able to use that tiny window of opportunity when Westdoor's teleport wasn't actually up. Really good job by BB there, landing the ultimate. Flash, I believe, was up for Ann. He just didn't quite have the reaction time to dodge that one. And that's going to be an inhibitor 23 minutes into this one. And they're not stopping. They're going on to Nexus towers here. 10 seconds on to Ann. They're going to bait the TP out, which is probably what they were looking for, and back off. Westdoor was able to pick up a tower in the top lane, but trading an inhibitor and a kill, definitely worth it for the side of J-Team. Taking down that mid lane inhibitor is going to do wonders to open up the map for themselves. They're going to be able to take complete vision control, most likely, of this Baron area as well. So that TP down on Westdoor is actually a really big deal. Won't be able to pressure as hard in the split push situation. They're going to have to send Ziv, but he is the weaker of the 2 split pushers at this point. Does have that Trinity 4 finish, though, so he's going to be doing decent damage. No flash on Morning as well means there's an opportunity maybe for Ziv to make a play in the 1v1 down here, but it's risky for sure. And Morning does have TP up as well, so no advantages right now going over to HQ in that regard. J-Team, not with the biggest gold lead in the world anymore, but they definitely have the map pressure lead. It will be a Cloud Drake that has spawned. We'll see if J-Team just pick up that free objective. They have really good vision control of the Baron area right now. They are on the other side of the map now, though, so looks like Albus is going to walk in and drop a few wards. Just trying to maintain vision in that area for as long as possible. As you can see, Westdoor has returned to the top lane here. It's good in a way because he'll be near the Baron if they start that one up, but unfortunately, If J Team decide to take control of this area, he'll have to back off. Alex is going to be spotted out by that ward and the Callista Scout. Take them both down. How dare you spot me out, he says. Red buff looks like it's going to be secured by Ann, so he's happy about that one. Blue buff spawned, so they're probably going to be handing that one off to Fofo right about now. It's going to help him out in keeping this mid lane push. Not that they need the help, they got the super minions as well. They may look to push this top lane out and then pressure the tier 2 tower there in the top lane. And then when they feel like they have the opportunity, maybe even look to turn onto Baron. With that Ashe arrow, they can always turn it around whenever they want. They have pretty good engage with the Jarvan and Rumble to follow it up, as well as the Alistar. So the ball delivery system is in full force for the side of J Team. Alex taking a decent amount of damage there. He's going to have to back off for now. AHQ holding on to vision control of this area for the moment. Might be a matter of time before J Team's able to keep these waves pushed and move in as a unit. Struggling to get the split push going now that J Team has grouped as a unit here. A lot of on-the-way pings here. J Team looking to cut off AHQ in these rotations. Absolute mirage of pings. Westor might be caught out a bit here, actually. He's going to have to be careful. Does force the flash out. Flash forward, actually. There's the Wombo combo. Westor might be able to get out, though. He's got the Rift Walk. Ignite goes down. So a little bit of a heart attack there for the mid laner, but he's able to escape with his life. Had to burn flash, but he trades for 2 flashes. Can't really be mad at that. Orianna also ulted. Not the longest cooldown, but it does mean they probably won't want to fight straight up for a while. Team has to be a bit careful here. AHQ might smell an opportunity. Looks like it's the recall coming in from Alex. They are all grouped up into this bush. If the recall comes through, they got to be a bit careful here. Now on the top side, Ziv going aggressive. There's the Zonies coming out of Mooring, try to buy some time. And kind of standing on that equalizer. Going to be taking a lot of damage, but he might have enough Ren stacks. He doesn't. But the trade kill goes over. 1 for 1 so far. But this might be an AHQ's advantage. Double kill. Actually going over. No, that's Kassadin picking up the second kill of the fight. Westor takes down BB, and it's a 2 for 1 so far. And JT might have stayed a little bit longer than they were allowed to. AHQ all of a sudden turning this one around, picking up 3 kills for 1. And all of a sudden, Baron buff is going to be going over to AHQ. The jungler is up for J Team, so there is a chance for a smite, and no Callista, crucially. So you're going to have to be a bit careful here. Jarvan's going to be doing his best to avoid this vision for as long as possible. Jay playing a human ward sacrifice here. HQ dropping a bit low here, actually. There's no real damage on the side of J Team, though. They can't really threaten in that regard. Jay goes down, buys as much time as he can. They're trying to stall it out. He has to go in, trying to get the smite. He drops so low. Great play from AHQ there, stopping the damage, playing that one perfectly. They do not give an opportunity for a smite steal, and that is going to be 2 more kills, a delayed ace, and the Baron over to AHQ. It is a sad day if you're a J Team fan. As you can see, this team fight, they had the shockwave back up, but Alex was so low, and they kind of botched a few of their engage tools. The equalizer didn't do a lot, and AHQ were able to kite back and then jump back in when J Team actually was split up. As you can see, Orion actually flashed over the wall there trying to pursue a kill. Able to pick up Ann, but that is literally all they're able to get. They give up so much in return. J Team just not being patient really there, it feels like. They thought they were more ahead than they actually were. HQ is also going to be able to pick up this Cloud Drake, which is a nice little consolation, you know, able to rotate around the map faster. The question is, what are they going to be able to do with this Baron buff? They now do find themselves ahead around 2,000 gold. Looks like they might be going for the 1-3-1 situation here. They have TP up onto Westor. Not onto Ziv, though, in that bot lane. Morning does have his, so we'll see if that plays into these next few minutes. They do have to still respect the team fight coming out of J Team here, but if they play it carefully and intelligently, they should be able to knock down a few towers here. See what the call is, though. They're definitely cautiously moving forward. There's a decent amount of vision on that bot side for J Team. You're most likely going to see them do here is work to push all 3 lanes in at once and then rotate in between that top, or the bottom and the mid tier 2 towers. Try to slowly knock those down. A little bit more dangerous to go on the top inhibitor tower because it opens up even more of an opportunity for a flank. J Team J, the nice name coordination there, is going to try to get some vision back for his team. Easily cleared out though, and the red buff will go over to On. He's got that Hurricane completed now. and the Maw of Melmortius, actually, so he's going to be able to survive these fights and do a decent amount of damage on this Callista. All of a sudden, it's AHQ in the driver's seat here, capitalizing very nicely on J-Team's mistakes once again. Need to slowly push these waves in. They got the 1-3-1 composition going. It is a hard comp to pull off. Does help if they have the Baron, though. Makes things a lot easier. Ziv actually does have the advantage level-wise now. Might look to dive if it wasn't probably for that Zhonya. He's 2 levels up now, and he's just going to obliterate this tower. Morning all of a sudden realizes, wow, this guy is pretty fed. Not sure I can stop him. 3 kills. I mean, 5 kills onto Morning, but when you start scaling on that Camille, it becomes a terrifying prospect if you are J-Team. Have yet to actually take a tower here. They're definitely playing this very passively. AHQ just got the lead. They don't want to give it up. Whether or not they should go more aggressive is another question entirely. They decide that they want to play it nice and slow. I don't think they need to force it at the moment. J-Team probably going to be pretty happy with that. Just going to try to wait this Baron out and regroup here. Mountain manages to steal that big Raptor away. A little bit dangerous there. Didn't have any of his teammates around, but he's a big boy on that Gragas. He feels pretty safe and sound. Westor continuing the split push. He's got the Zhonyas. He's got the Rod of Ages. He's got the Lich Bane. He is reaching that point on Kassadin where you don't want to go anywhere near him, really. If you're able to avoid it, double TP up for AHQ. That's when that 1-3-1 is really going to come into effect. Next, Drake is going to be the Mountain, which is going to be very attractive for AHQ who want to start knocking down these towers. They actually don't have the greatest siege. They got a relatively low range 80 carry and a Kassadin as well. The idea with this team composition is to pull J-Team around the map, spread their resources thin, and then capitalize if they see an opportunity to go in. It is huge for them that Ziv has the advantage now in the split push. All he's got to watch out for now is the collapse coming from J-Team. Ash Arrow definitely is scary when you're split pushing. All of a sudden, wallops you in the face and you get collapsed on by 4 members. It's happened many a times when teams are trying to pull off these compositions. See if AHQ can pull it off, though. Void Staff now completed for Kassadin as well. We'll be doing a lot of damage, to put it lightly. Pretty good vision control for this red side for J-Team. It's not most forward vision, but it's at least covering defensive-wise. I almost feel like AHQ is planning to just wait for this next Baron buff and look to force J-Team into a really bad team fight here. Seems like the game plan right now. It went well for them last time, so I can't blame them for wanting to take that approach here. Bebe doing a healthy amount of damage on that Ashe, though. 70 kills to his name, but he's got a very respectable amount of farm. He's at that 3-item power spike. He's got the Energizer build going on to Ashe, so no Blade of the Rune King this time. Obviously not much of a front line for HQ. It's really only Mountain who's going to be tanky. So I like the crit build coming out. He is probably going to get dived a lot, though, by the Kassadin and Camille combo. So there's something to be said for a little bit of extra survivability, but he has made the choice. Morning going to be trying his best to keep Ziv under control here. Level 18 to level 16, though, on the top laners. It's pretty clear who has the advantage. Team trying to play around this bot side, maybe looking for a pick onto an overextending Camille. It's Mountain, though, who might find himself in a bit of trouble. Takes about half life. He'll walk out. He's okay. He's got his team by his side. They're going to work to come in here and clear out even more wards. This middle tier 2 tower is still up for J-Team. It's their last remaining tower that isn't connected to their base, so they want to hold on to it pretty desperately. Baron spawning in about 20 seconds. Drake of the Mountain variety in 10. See, obviously the teams will be placing priority onto the Baron, but AHQ might just look to take a free objective here in the Mountain. It's going to help them out a lot in their split pushing adventures. Looks like it will be. There's pings going down onto the Baron area from J-Team. They kind of want to take the opportunity to get some wards here. Alex might have gone a little bit too far forward from his team, though. Stun lands. Here's the Ash Arrow. J-Team maybe looking for the re-engage. Actually, AHQ, 2 members down. They might not want to take this fight. Who gets the first kill, though? Fate's Call pulls the Braum out. Westdoor jumps away as well. So they pick up the Dragon, and they manage to survive on the top side. Crucial for AHQ. And that is actually a pretty big deal. J-Team not able to get anything off that. Bar Albus's flash. Now AHQ trying to catch JT off guard, actually starting up the Baron. Hawkshot will spot it out. Alex was forced to recall, though. The flash is going to be nowhere near. There are 4 members strong here for J-Team, though. Westdoor going in aggressively. He has the Zonius, pops it. Fofo forced to heal, and BB gets absolutely deleted. Westdoor has reached the late game Cassidon, and he is unstoppable. J-Team gets obliterated in that fight, not even close. And they just may end it off that. Very long death timers here. Only Alex alive. He's a level 14 Jarvan. And he's not going to be able to do much here to stop this steamrolling AHQ team comp. Running it down the mid lane. Going to try his best to delay, but AHQ's not going to take the bait. Got the mid lane inhibitor tower down. Inhibitor to follow. What's going to be the call here from J-Team? Still around 20 seconds on most of the members from J-Team. They're just going to go aggressively onto the Nexus towers, and I don't think there's anything that can stop them. This is going to be game 3, and the series going over to AHQ, turning this game around when it looked almost unwinnable at one point, capitalizing on J-Team's one mistake and completely turning the game on its head. Shows you the prowess of this AHQ team. Very well played to them. They're going to take the series, and as you can see, some looks of relief and jubilance on the side of AHQ. Very glad to have picked that one up. And I am very glad to have seen that. That was an impressive performance on the side of AHQ.